Good good morning, Truth Serum Nation. It's the Truth Serum. Get a coffee, get a water, anything. Come hang out with me. It's been a while since we rock and rolled. I've been just pumping these out, pumping them out and everything. But I like doing the mobster tales. See what we can find, see what we can talk about. First and foremost, well, thank you for giving me another day. And I hope everybody's doing well this summer. Football season is here. And let's talk about this mob family that I put down words kill and evil, every negative emotion that Lucifer created, it puts into these behaviors. So uh, when I first went up there, I was hustling around, and the old man, the boss Sam, he would always say, don't borrow anything from anybody. Don't ever owe anybody. And you're not going to bet on sports here. I didn't care about betting on sports at the time, very minimal. And he used to say, don't borrow. Don't borrow. Um, so in effect, I want to try to talk about the gambling and Owen, but they had what I call shadow men. They're always around in whatever rank they are in the mafia. They're lurkers. They're at the track. They're at the off-track betting. They're at events with banquets and parties and all these affairs. But they don't ever seem to be in communication. They're always off in some shadow corner somewhere looking and watching. And it's just like, wow, I've seen that guy 3 times at different places and he never says a word. He is, hi, Francis. They have these guys. They know who owes. They know who owes big. They, of course. So the bosses and captains will put feelers out there and say, well, and some of these shadow people gambled anyways. They gambled, so they would make small bets and act like they're studying and what they're really interested in the finish of the race, but they're watching Vito over there who owes 17,000, and he's waiting. He's waiting to see if Vito makes a score so he can go back to the boss and say, yeah, how come Vito hasn't paid you yet? He made 10,000. So it's always, and then everybody, and that gig is there's all gamblers, gamblers, and everybody knows, oh, you went to the track, you went to the OTB, did this, you went and gambled. And if you won, all you'd hear is this, you could copyright the remark. All they'd ever say is, yeah, if he made 10,000, he'd say, I made a couple bucks. I'd make a couple bucks. But then if they lost, oh, geez, I got annihilated. I got this. Yeah. So the trick of it was, so this gets back to a guy that was running. He was in the crew, and he owed Sam probably 17,000, 22,000, something along those effects. And he owed, for whatever reasons, with that book, with that betting in that family. And this guy was a really hard ass, tough bastard, God forgive me. Because I used to give him rides. So I used to give him rides to the track and everything else. So he made a score. I didn't know he owed money. I didn't even know he owed. I figured, because there's so much back and forth with numbers, figures. You just do your thing. Who cares about? I don't care about what they owe or don't owe. I'm trying to grab a couple dollars off of them. But in the meantime, I'm observing and learning from their mistakes. But I wasn't getting involved in that other stuff. So um, this guy, I'd give him a ride here and there and everything. So Sam would always ask me questions, and he was asking me more and more questions about this guy. And I was like, gee, something's up. So he owed a ton of money. Another guy in the crew had I talked to whatever with lunch. He said, yeah, he's in real deep. So I give him a ride. I give him a ride. We go to the OTB, and I'm trying to be chilly. I feel sorry for the guy, and he catches a pick six. Now this is a big bet for horse racing. He catches a pick six for like 60 something $1,000. It's a very attractive bet in horse racing when you got to pick 6 consecutive winners, and they have massive pools, massive monies that people bet into. And he catches it, and I know he caught it because he needed somebody to sign for IRS. You know, he needed somebody so he didn't get in taxes and all that. So, and he had asked me, and I had knew somebody that would be exempt for that wouldn't have to pay taxes, like Native Indians, Native Americans. So he does that. I grab a little bone from that for referring him to a guy that he don't have to pay taxes. So I go back to the club about a week later and everything else. And this guy ain't around. He still hasn't paid his debt. Like, something's not right. Something's not right. So a couple more days pass by, and I go to the racetrack. Here comes this guy. Here comes the guy. We'll call him Gino. Here he comes. He won all this money. He's ducking out. He's ducking Sam. He's ducking the club. And here he shows up at the racetrack. And I go, holy cow, everybody's wondering where you are, what are you doing, blah, 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 and all this and that. How come you didn't pay that marker off? Sam's going crazy over there. And so he's talking smack. Oh, well, I'm going to do this and that. I had to pay another crime family because Lord knows he owed 3 other bookies from crime families that he was trying to get them off his back because he figured his own family, Sam, would have some more mercy on him, which they don't. They don't have more mercy. It don't matter. When you break the rules, you break the rules. You could be the guy's nephew. So we're at the track, and we're going back and forth, and I look over, like in the background, I see the shadow man. I says, Gino, they're watching you and everything. Oh, yeah, he's following me all over the place and all this kind of stuff. I says, what are you going to do? I said, Sam knows you won the money. And he goes, well, nobody should know. Nobody should know. What did you do, Joe? You went back and told him? Now he's going psycho on me. I said, I didn't say nothing. I don't give a shit. Now he's accusing me. And I says, don't you got any of that money left? Just do something in good faith with Sam. If you owe, how much do these bookmakers let these guys go in debt for? How much? And so Sam says, no, I'll chill. I'm going to chill. So in the meantime, I talk to my godfather because I figure my godfather is an enforcer for the Colombo family against other crime families, but he'll tear up a Colombo family too within his own family. So if there's a bad actor within there, Sam will call my godfather and tell him, shred this guy out. So I talked to my godfather and I said, yeah, he won a lump sum and then he must have owed other families. He still owes Sam a big marker and all that. And he goes, all right, The next time you're out with him, because I would drive him around, they would go to bars and they would commiserate all night. They're whore somewhere, whore masters. And I was like, geez, I don't want to drive this guy around and then stop somewhere and have you cave his face in. I'm not down with that. I mean, I'm not trying to set anybody up. I'm not trying to get implicated in any type of assaults or crimes or anything else. I said, all you have to do is call the club sometimes. The girl, the bartender, whoever's there, she'll tell you what's going on, just talk friendly like you always do, and then you'll gather some intel. And if you want to smash a guy out for Sam, smash him out. But I don't want nothing to do with it. So I chill out for a week. I made a couple dollars. I don't know what I did. Well, the guy threw me a bone. The guy threw me a bone that made that. Yeah, he made me. He threw me some cash. So about 2 weeks later, I go up to the club. I'm eating lunch with Sam and everything. And somebody says, "Oh, hold the back door," from the kitchen that goes in the room. Hold the back door. Here comes this Gino. He's in a wheelchair. He like in the movies where they have that white, uh, uh, the white bandages around your head, like you got a skull fracture or something. And here he comes, and I just shrieked. And I looked at Sam, and Sam said, "Shut your F." I didn't even say anything. And he said, "Shut your effing mouth." I was like, mm. So now he comes over, he wheels his wheelchair. He had a cast or something. He wheels his wheelchair and he looks over at me, and Sam says, "Oh, there's people making deliveries, like vendors. It's a bar restaurant. He has to go back." So here's this Gino. "I'm gonna kill you, you rotten MF, and all this and that. You told everybody I made all this money, blah 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 blah." I said, "Gino, you if there was guys there that saw you win the money. There's in the peripheral, there's 3 or 4 people. Sam's got people everywhere watching everybody. They got people watching the people that are watching the people." And he's hollering at me. I says, "Why don't you just pay?" Well, I owed a couple big markers to 3 other crime families, of course. I said, "Well, what'd you have left?" He said, "I had about $10,000, $11,000 left." I said, "Well, why don't you just pay Sam?" He says, "No, I got to take a shot. I got to gamble with that money to try to win more." A gambler just thinks, "Well, let me use the money so I can make a score, and then I'll have more. I'll pay Sam, and then I'll have an extra couple dollars." That's the gambler's default thinking. And it's just like, nah, I think you better pay a little couple dollars down. Make the old layaway, you know, pay Sam on the layaway plan. Remember that layaway? Make installments to your freaking. So he's hollering at me. I said, "I got nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with it." "Oh, nobody knew I won. Nobody knew this. Nobody knew that." I said, "You know that guy that always wears that sweater at the track at OTB? There's a guy. He acts like he's reading a racing form. He lurks around. He watches. He's a dead standout giveaway to me because I'm always watching. I'm always watching. It's just normal. You're watching people. If something looks amiss or astray or something, it raises a red flag. So I'm always watching this guy, and he shows up, and I said, "You know that guy? He knocked you out. He knocked you out. Even if he didn't, the people at the OTB and the racetrack, the word would have leaked out anyways to Sam. It's worse than a knitting circle." Okay, even with these hardcore mafia gangsters, they're worse than a knitting circle. Okay, sometimes the only thing that's missing are the knitting needles. And the yarn, of course. Go get yourself a drink, hang out with the truth serum for a little while. All right? I don't bite. Help me out a little too. If you can't afford, if Kamala Harris has tough money and you can't afford to support my channel money wise, uh, just hit the like button if you can afford to do that. Just hit the like button, because mm, you might not even be able to afford to hit the like button. That's how screwed up this regime has got everything. Let's get back to something brighter. Gangsters. It's a lot better. It's more brighter to me. It sounds morbid, but with these government regimes, are worse than the gangsters. They're worse. So let's get back to the mobsters. Okay. So uh, where were we? These shadow men. Um, there was one I had actually saw two, and my godfather knew who they were because my godfather was an enforcer, and they would share information. Because if there was going to be a hit or an assault or something worse, the shadow men are like the CIA. They're like intelligence, and they go back, and some guys tried to hide, and the shadow men surveil them, but some just go out in public and gamble, and they will tell enforcers, mob enforcers, yeah, this guy, these are his tendencies. This is what he does. This is where he usually is. This is his schedule. This is his routine. So my godfather would get information like that. So fast forward, this bad actor here still owes money to Sam, and the shadow man's watching him still gamble like a psychopath, and then he's telling my godfather this information. So I talked to my godfather, and he's saying, "Well, George, what about all the?" I said, "The guy's a scumbag," and honestly, all right, honestly, I was with the guy before I had that conversation. I was with this guy the night before. I drove him all over planet Earth. He's hard to deal with. Number one, he's drunk in my car. We're going to all these bars. He wants to go to strip clubs. I don't want to go. He's harassing me on that. The night before, he's giving me hell. So when I had that conversation the following day, I told my godfather, forget about Sam. Forget about Sam. This Sam's the boss. This guy's just no good. Sooner or later, Mickey, you're going to have to deal. Mickey's my godfather, enforcer. Sooner or later, you're going to get a call to smash this guy out. But when you do, hope he's got 7 or 8, 9,000 in his pocket from this money he's gambling with. So, you know, and all of a sudden, this guy has got people coming to the club looking for me that I never saw before. These wannabe gangsters, well, they were just family or friends of this Gino, this degenerate gambler we're talking about, and they're coming over there. Oh, you threw Gino under the bus. Listen, folks, I'm here making nickels and dimes. All right, don't come at me sideways, please. I'm over here. I'm not babysitting him or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm not lying to Sam about anything, the boss. I'm not lying. I'd rather say the truth about these guys that are all leveraging. Everything's leveraging. It's all conversations. This is screwed up, folks. The mafia, there's always conversations where you got to decode it like the Da Vinci Code. You got to encode it, and you got to pick up. And there's all this back and forth, and there could be, 5-minute dialogue, and then you got to realize, look at this leveraging and look at this jockeying. And then what they try to do, they try to use me. The crew would try to use me to get information on the boss, and the boss would try to use me to get information on the crew. But I'm loyal to the boss, even though the crew was starting to throw me more tips. But I got to be, because, and my godfather explained a lot of stuff to me because I was a naive little punk. I thought I thought I knew everything, but I didn't. Sorry about the slurping. So hit the like button, share button, and everything else. And that's about my Brats 1. Where you been? Huh? Where you been? You gonna knife me in the back again, bro? Everything's good over here. They froze my channel up and everything. I can't get subscribers, but I'm still plugging away. You can't always be pissed off and mad. You got to enjoy. We're alive. Enjoy. We got a shot. We still got a shot. So, yeah, they always had these guys. Well, because everybody in the crew's owed. Everybody owed. Every Monday and Tuesday, it was like bad beats. Oh, I got beat. Bah, bah, bah. Oh, hope you feel better, bro. All you hear during the week are the bad beats. They're in my car. I'm bringing them somewhere. Oh, Jojo. Yeah, the guy fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line. Cost me $6. All I would hear is a lot of these bad beats all week long. Like, geez. And they're always rolling upstream. So then, yeah, because I talk political. My brats. I talk political about Kamala and all that. This is censored now. Now YouTube is censored. You can't talk smack politically. So whatever I get, I get. Whatever I get, I get. YouTube's worse than the mafia. Thought there was freedom of speech. I want to live in America. No more freedom of speech in America. Mm-hmm. So, like I would be at events, clam bakes. The girls, the daughters would have the sweet 16s, and you see these guys. They lurk. I saw a shadow man I think he was actually shadowing me, because we were in a beautiful setting, festive setting, some party, sweets, some mobster's daughter. They had parties and events. And you'd have these guys that walked around, good looking, like Hollywood guys, they wouldn't talk to nobody. But you would think you have to socialize, because when you talk to other people, then they got the Cosa Nostra bull crap. You got to, introduce the people before you could talk and all that. And they had a free pass. Not to socialize. It's like they're like the Secret Service just patrolling around these events. And things were getting shaky and things were getting hairy. I like to go to New York City and New Jersey, the Meadowlands racetrack, and I like to gamble, take a road trip, because sometimes when I was delivering the milk and when I was delivering the bread and milk to New York, most of the time I had to come back with some more bread and milk from them back to Western New York. But sometimes if I try to get away to the racetrack at the Meadowlands, New Jersey, and watch the races, horse races. And I get there and I see the shadow man. Like, this guy gets around. We're 400 miles from Niagara Falls. And I looked at him. I was shocked. Looked at him. And it was awkward. And then he come up to me. He says, what are you doing here? I says, well, I really shouldn't be talking to you. That's Sam's, the boss, is orders. I shouldn't be talking to you. And he says, oh, okay. I says, well, he goes, no, I'm down here for another reason. But what I figured was There was a lot of ratting going around. There was a lot of ratting and a lot of different things going on. And he was supposed to remain incognito, but I used to fly around the track. I was always thinking how to outsmart somebody, just in case, just in case. You got to know if possibly somebody's following you, tailing you, casing you. You got to know. You got to know. Be proactive. And I get back up to the club. I said, yeah, I saw that Mama Luke. Well, to me, but I said, I saw him down. He says, what did you go to the track for? You're supposed to come straight home with the bread and milk. I said, so he was guarding the bread and milk. Well, it's better than a car full of snipers. So, well, he says, what the hell did you go down there for? Another time I went, while we're on the subject, another time I went to the races. There wasn't a lot of bread or milk involved. This was a more lax delivery back and forth. I get to the damn track. There was a guy that went out on the lam. There was a guy on the lam. And I knew him. And he hadn't been seen in 3 or 4 months. So Sam tells me, Joey, when you go down when you make your run down there, go to the track and relax and have fun. Here's a couple extra dollars, blah, 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 blah. I go down there. I'm in the men's room. This is like the Twilight Zone. I'm at the urinal. I look 3 urinals over. I see a guy with a toupee and a fake beard. I know this guy. I know this guy. Boom, boom. Go to wash our hands. He jacks me up into the wall. He jacks me up into the wall. What are you doing following me here? Blah, blah, blah. I said, no, I knew I recognized you and everything else. And wow, what a small world it is. You got this toupee on and this beard. I said, I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to know nothing. Oh, I'll kill you. I'll do this. I'll do that. I said, what are you doing here? Your disguise is bad. Run for the hills. Run for the hills. Oh, you're good. Don't do. So I said, I'll never tell anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody that you were here, this or that. So when I got back to the club, of course I told on him. I told Sam, I seen that guy we haven't seen. He was down there. He said, oh, yeah. The shadow man found him. I don't know what happened to him, but he wasn't going to take him for coffee. So always the words of the mafia. It's always the words and the jockeying and the leveraging. Psychologically speaking, it's fascinating. It's fascinating when you got fear, power, money. You got every deadly sin that you're gonna have to need Jesus to get you out of it. Every deadly sin known to mankind. But when you're in the streets doing your thing, like me, and then you go into the club, your whole posture and thinking changes. The old you, the old Joe, the regular Joe on the street, Joe, happy-go-lucky guy. When you walk into the club, your radar's up, guard your words. If there's couples and girlfriends and wives, watch where you look, because there's so many insecure, jealous husbands out there. So don't talk till somebody talks to you, and your whole thinking changes, which I had to acclimate to that. I had to acclimate to that, which I did, but I did break the rules. I talked smack to a made member. Yeah. Hey, my brats, Joe, you got to go. Well, I hope everything works out good to you at the doctor. Yeah. This is a new land record. I haven't done a video in 5 or 6 days, but I'm trying to decompress a little. I can't just keep pounding these out. I mean, 500 videos and just trying to throw some uh, uh, mobster tales, keep the channel going, So yeah, when you walk into these events or the club, all your thinking changes. All your thinking changes. See, they're like the FBI and CIA. They're asking simple questions and they're loaded questions. They're loaded questions. Does Gino think I said something about him making the score and everything? I didn't have to. I didn't need to. The word got back to the boss. It's like a new land record. The mailman could go there and tell them. It's just that's open information. A guy makes a score like that, it's gonna travel back to the boss. And he was pissed off saying, like, I told Sam that I said, Gino, they should have put it on the billboard that you won that money. Everybody but the plumber knew you won that money. It wasn't because I told Sam you won this money. Come on. Then you want to come at me and shake me down and everything else and talk smack. It's just like, come on. Come on. I wanted to tell him, God forgive me. You don't even realize, Gino, that you're dead. I didn't even want to tell him as a Christian, trying to be a good Christian, because I sometimes these guys got depressed. I try to give them some therapy, psychological therapy, boost them up. They'd be drinking, depressed. They know they're screwed. And I'm thinking to this Gino, here's a guy running so fast in the mafia world that he can't step back and look at himself and look and analyze the situation. He's so immersed. That's all these gangsters and these mafia. They're in the fast lane. They're so immersed. Boom, 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 boom. They're so immersed. They never step back to give themselves some critical thinking and saying, wait a minute, maybe I should be doing this instead of this. So they never step back and look at things. When now this Gino, he's talking and he still hasn't paid the families. He made down payments to 3 other families. He still owes them. And I'm thinking, if this guy doesn't get this marker that he owes, it ain't good. So I'm taking him here and there, and I'm telling him, pay, because he's flashing money. Pay. He's going, oh, you rat. I says, take that money and pay him. I don't need the rat. I said, Gino, everybody knew you made a score. Go do something in good faith. It's bad enough. What, are you just going to blow this other 10,000 when you still owe 27,000 because you're trying to make a score? Aren't you in fear of your life? Oh, F them, blah, blah, blah. You're a rat too, Joe. You told Sam everything else. And he's getting all lippy and all that. And I just wanted to say, if you don't change your mindset, bro, I'm sitting here next to a dead man. And I'm telling them, there's other people watching you. The tellers at the racetrack, the tellers at OTB, they know the mob. The cashiers at the racetrack, the cashiers at the OTBs, they know the mob. You don't think the mob picks their brain? Hey, was Johnny in here last week? How did he do? Blah, 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 blah. It's all intel. So I want to say, you're just a walking dead man if you don't straighten out. But he tried to say, I said something. No. So I go back and I tell Sam, this guy's a piece of crap. And he says, Joey, I told you I don't want him in your car anymore. No, but especially not during these times. Maybe down the road. So, in other words, Joe, don't be around don't be in the crossfire when they smash this Gino out. Don't be around him, because you'll be considered the enemy just like him. I says, well, don't you have boss? I mean, I'm thinking, well, don't put little old me in the middle of it. I'm just a little errand boy, but they would never set that up with me being on the scene. But I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody because there's other times when the guy went in a building in the outskirts and they did some crazy stuff. And I was on the scene. I don't know what it was. I think they beat somebody up or something, assault. So I'm like, mm-mm. So you got the shadow man, and you got a whole language of words, a whole language of words, and just like in the Bible, words give life, and words give death. Just like in the Bible, words kill, or words are positive. And I just wanted to say, mobster tales. I just want to talk about the mentality of what these crew members. Now, you've seen all these mob movies and all that. Well, we just go one little layer under. You take a ride with the truth serum. We peel back a layer and just show the real rubbing elbows and what the people are saying and what more intimately. If you're interested in the mob and all that stuff, 10 million views on all these big channels, peel it back. Don't get fooled by my numbers. I'm smarter than all them guys, you know, whatever that means. Well, they got the money. I don't. Well, sometimes it ain't all about money. It's about staying alive. Staying alive. So, in retrospect, all these conversations, well, now there's other times, excuse me, there's other times. There's just a lot of happy times. Please, I don't want to give you the wrong perception that every day was pins and needles. Every day was pins and needles. No, there was a lot of joyous times. Of course, I got stressed out, but it was just part of the game. And there was a lot of happy times. I was making a lot of tip money, and I was getting paid for running errands. So I I was gaining more wisdom, but there was a lot of times. Even the guy that threatened to kill me, which I don't know, whatever. When I made a mistake, and whatever Cosa Nostra rule bullcrap. Even that guy was fun to be around, but I knew he would throw me under a bus or anything. But it's weird. It's weird. I know the guy would, uh, uh, you know, blast me at a drop of a hat. But in the meantime, I'm driving him all over town. But that's life. That's life. That's the opportunity cost for being around these people in the name of money, and that's just you got to deal with it. And is it worth it if you make a mistake here or there? I already made two mistakes. My godfather had to bail me out of twice. You only got you don't. I don't have any trump cards left. Go Trump while we're speaking. Go Trump. But I'm not sitting with any more Trump. My godfather had already told me, you either straighten up or get the hell out of there. Or if you want to work, come to New York and work for the Columbos down there. Get an apartment, get set up. He says, but I'm done babysitting you. I can't protect you. I'm in New York City. You're in Western New York. I can't protect you every day. You better get it together. So it's always like, even when I was delivering the milk and bread, there's a bad actor following me. And then there's another friendly guy to me following the bad actor. I'm making a delivery. I'm on the highway. And their bad actor is watching guy from Sam's crew. They betray because, like I said before, they owe tons of money, and then it's little old little old me, with some cash or bread and milk, and I'm on my way. And they're like, well, that JoJo would be an easy target. I know he's making a run, and that JoJo would be an easy target. Let's just hem him up before he gets to New York, or we follow him back for New York from New York when he brings back bread and milk there. Jojo's a little punk, and he's an easy target. We owe a ton of money, and Joe's got that bread and milk coming back, and we could smash him up. Well, I'm still standing after all this time. I don't know where they are, but I'm here. I'm here. And if bad things happen to them, forgive me, God. As a Christian, I'm glad. I'm glad. I don't know where they are. They all ran away. They all ran away. They're probably in the shadows somewhere. So what's going on? Yeah, it's fascinating that trying to shed some light on the environment of the everyday. You guys watch so many videos on about all this mob stuff, mob tube, Mike Francis, Sammy the Bull Gravano. You watched all this. They're out of content. Mike said he just ran out of content. Mike Francis. Every day is a story of like interesting things that you could turn into a story. So, how do you sum it all up? How do you sum it all up? Bad environment, uh, the love of money, the root of evil, all that. How do you sum it up? Uh, just spiritually speaking, or how do you just sum it up in the flesh? Now, if these guys back then, if these guys were making 1,500 a week, depending on what their job duties were, it was gambling. It was all gambling. It was all gambling. And technical difficulties. If these guys, yeah, my charge is gonna run out. How much time do I got? 20%. Yeah, it's more like 3%. These guys made good money every week. If they just saved their money and gambled a little, no, they bet everything they got in their pocket. They bet everything they got in their pocket. Pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay your expenses, and then gamble. No, they don't pay anything. They just bet everything. Everything. Sam didn't like it because all it does is bring up trouble. People owe, people rat, people do everything. So I in turn was a shadow man in the broad daylight. I was the shadow man in broad daylight because I would report to the boss and let him know what happened on these nights and days of gambling and all over town. So I was Sam's intelligence of watching over little old me, and that. But then they would get pissed off because they would know I told Sam. So crazy stuff. It's the truth serum. Support the channel if you can, folks. Hit the like button. There's a link in the description. There's a Cash App if you're not broke by Bidenomics by now. If you can help a guy out, please. There's a super chat, Cash App. There's a link in the description to a good book. It's like $8. You want to read a good book? There it is. Thank you, Jesus. So, baseball playoffs, football starting. So we're rocking and rolling, folks. I'm gonna try to breathe some air back into the channel, and I got some more stuff I could tell you, crazy mob stories and everything else. But I always try to marry it with psychology and spirituality. Why not? That's what we are. That's what we are. We can't be robots. So that's that. Everybody enjoy, support the channel. You know how. Help a guy out. This Joe Biden's killing everything, everybody. So and be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. Keep throwing. We'll get there. Keep your head up and don't despair. It's partly sunny. It's not partly cloudy. Get your head together. Get your confidence up, and and throw punches. All right, folks. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.